Guys, Shana G, how are you? Hello, Shana G, D30, D33, A-star. How are you doing, guys? How are you doing? I've been having some issues with the video, so I had to reset the whole, the whole video altogether again. B Mark, good morning, everyone. B Mark, blessed, thank you. How's you? I'm good, Shana G. I had a few issues with the video, so that's why I had to reset the whole stuff altogether. There was a few complications. I'm yet to upgrade this phone at some point. So how is everyone doing? How is everyone doing, guys? How is all of you? I welcome you to this video for today. So we're going to talk about the black sheeps. And as you come in, guys, send out allow this video to reach other people by hitting the like button so that YouTube will push out our video to other guys around the world and other people will be able to find us. So we have about 4 people on board. We're just going to be waiting a little bit for guys to come in. And at some point later on, people are going to find us as we carry on with the video. I appreciate all of you guys. Remember, hit the like button, guys. You come in, you hit the like button. It is going to help us this video to reach many guys around the world, other viewers around the world. So I don't know how long we are going to speak today, but I've got just something I want to talk about today. Let me see if I can put the microphone on. I even need the microphone. Thanks, Marco, for clicking the thumbs up. Lil Jam, good morning, Denzamos, and to everyone. God bless you. God bless you, Lil Jam. I've not been live in ages, guys. It's a very, very long time since I came live on my channel. So we're waiting for guys to come in as I'm setting up the microphone and all the equipment. I think it's getting better. 6 people on board. We're still waiting for guys to come in. So we are saying hi to members, followers, subscribers, well-wishers, supporters, fans, friends, and probably family. Even if I know that they're most likely not going to give us any comments. They usually watch my videos, but they don't put the comments there. So I'm going to talk about the black sheep. Guys, as you know, I've not been live for ages. I've not been coming live here. It's been a while. And then just today I was like, let me just come on live, talk to you guys, because sometimes I've been giving you guys uploads, sometimes I've been giving you guys podcasts, but today we are going to talk live. So I want to interact with my fans and my subscribers all over the world. Chosen ones, Black Sheep, Awakened Empaths, Super Empaths, Yoka Empaths, the guys of my tribe and the guys who can speak my language. So we're going to talk about the Black Sheep. And I know a lot of you guys, whether you knew it or you didn't know it, most of you guys, especially the chosen ones, you have also been the black sheeps in your own family. Number one, you're going to do me a favor. You can hear me, just give us a 1 in the comment section below. If you can see me clearly, you give us a 2. So a 1, if you can hear me, and if you can see me, it's a 2. And then we are going to start in a bit. Normally, I like to wait a little bit for guys to come, people to join us, and because I know we're watching from different countries. Some guys are from the US, some people are from the Australia, New Zealand, some people are from South Africa, Zimbabwe, Tanzania. I'm glad that the tribe is growing. We have a lot of viewers from many parts of the world. And I always appreciate you guys. I appreciate your support. I always actually, guys, I also want to say that I always get your donations. So the most of you guys who send in donations, I get your donations. And as you all know, I always invest those donations back into what I'm doing so that I can serve you better. So when the donations come in, okay, so we have the 1 and the 2. You guys see me properly. You hear me very well. That's okay. So the donations that come in, guys, I just want to say I appreciate all of you guys. I may not necessarily mention you guys, but I get the donations, the Cashaps and the PayPal. They come in, and what I do is I invest that money back into what I'm doing to serve you better on this channel. So we have 16 people on board and 12 likes. Guys, if you've forgotten to do that, just hit the like button. That is one of the most important things with these lives, because the like button helps us to push that video out further into the universe, and other chosen ones around the world, they find us, they join us, they watch our content, they get help, they get healing. I'm going to talk from my own perspective as a black sheep of the family. And I know some of these videos, they rub people the wrong way. So some of these videos, they hit people in the wrong spot. But as a guy who is authentic, I prefer to stand with the truth. So I do not, in whichever way, compromise my truth and my authenticity because of family and friends. So I just come out and I stand with the truth. I speak exactly what is on my mind, what's on my heart. Because my main objective is to help as many people as I can around the world with so many different kinds of things, especially when we're talking about narcissistic abuse, personal development, growth, spirituality. We touch a lot of different subjects on this channel. So, black sheep, we're going to start, and people are just going to be joining us along the way. 16 people on board. Okay. So, number 1, guys, it's very important for you to know. You always have to speak your truth. If you've been a black sheep in your family and you have awakened to being a black sheep in your family, I would encourage you that you can always speak your truth, because remember, when you're speaking your truth, you're helping so many family members to wake up. So because you see, this thing is a cycle, this thing is some kind of a family pattern that has got to be broken. So you as a black sheep, you have been appointed to break this pattern. And the more you speak, the more authentic you are, and the more you speak about your truth, is also the more you're going to have a lot of you're going to help a lot of family members in your family to wake up. You're going to help a lot of people, because a lot of people, remember, this thing is a curse, and a lot of family members, they are asleep. So whichever family you come from, you have to know that a lot of family members, they are sleeping. So a lot of them do not know what is going on around the family. Many of them, they have been brainwashed. Many of them, they have been compromised, especially when we're talking about the guys like the golden child and other family members. They have all been compromised, and they have all been brainwashed, and most of them have been put to sleep. So the more you come out and start speaking about your truth, one way or the other, you're going to start helping a lot of those guys to make much more conscious decisions about their life and about what direction they want to take. And for the ones who will eventually wake up because of your truth, because of your whistleblowing, the ones who will wake up, they will be blessed to live their best lives, because at the end of the day, your truth is going to hurt people. You know what I mean? So the truth will always hurt people. You have to understand that. The truth will always hurt people. Most especially, it is going to hurt the narcissistic parents. It is going to be very, very painful for them to bear. But this is something that's got to be spoken about, because when you're breaking a generational curse, you also have to understand that it is going to break a lot of individuals within your family. So this is a very serious subject, guys, and you cannot compromise yourself, and you can never actually sit on the truth. That's the first thing I want to say about being a black sheep in a family. Always speak your truth. Come out and speak. It is going to be painful. It's going to be hard. In the early days of my sharing, it was very hard for me to talk about the truth. You know what I mean? I did not know how was I going to break this cycle without speaking about it. So the thing what I discovered along my journey was I was going to speak the truth, and it was going to rub people the wrong way. People will like me, people will hate me. But anyhow, I just came out and I spoke the truth. So the black sheep, the other thing also you have to understand is that it is also going to be a must that as you're speaking your truth, you're also going to separate from family members. So a lot of family members, they're going to gang up on you. So they usually when you talk about dysfunctional families, those guys at the top, the narcissistic parents, they are going to unite a lot of family members against you. Why? Because you're the whistleblower, and we're going to dive into the details of what I'm talking about here. So a lot of family members, they will gang up on you. They will start pointing fingers at you. They will smear campaign your name. So the narcissistic parent will smear your name amongst other family members, and then they're all going to team up to gang up on you because you've started talking. So all those things you have to know that they are going to be a part of the process of breaking a curse. So the moment you start to speak, there's going to be resistance. There's going to be gang stalking, like Shanaji is saying. There'll be smear campaigns. That guy is stupid. That guy is fake. That guy is this. That woman is that. That woman is this. So they're going to talk a lot of things about you. But you've got to know that is your role. The role of a black sheep is very heavy and very intensive, and you cannot run away from it. That has been your assignment, even if most of you guys didn't know it. It has always been your assignment that you're going to break generational patterns within dysfunctional family units. So it is something that is going to happen as well. Now, I want to start this video with this a story that happened. You guys have seen the title of this video. It's called The Black Sheep, the Most Hated, and Yet the Most Powerful. So there was something that happened that was a couple of years ago. If I remember, it was around 2008. So those days I had my first son. And where I come from Africa. Specifically, I come from Uganda. For the most of you guys have been wondering where I come from. I've seen a lot of questions. Where are you from? You know, this and that. Well, I'm based in England, but I come from Uganda. So back in the days, I had my first son. And so where I come from, we have that tendency of blessing little kids. So when somebody has got a baby, we bless those children with money. You know what I mean? So we come and give them gifts of money. But usually what we do is that, so it depends on which currency you're using in that particular time and which country you're from as well. So normally what we do, we used to come and give them paper money. And the idea was that when you're giving those little kids paper money, it's like you're blessing them that as they grow up and as they become adults, they will touch money and they will be blessed with abundance. So that is the secret. It's like a tradition we have, the place where I come from. So those days I had my son, and I invited a very, very important person, you know, because for me it was a very big event. It was my first son, it was my first child. So I invited a very big figure, which I'm not going to mention in this video, but I think they know themselves. And I told that person that I'm having a child. Actually, I had a child. I told that person that I had a child, and I wanted that person to come and visit and bless my son in those days. So that person is a very wealthy person, of course. So the person came around, that individual came around, and the only thing they took with them was a number of coins. You guys know, of course, you know these coins, the currencies, those little coins and everything. And that is exactly what they gave my son. Now that thing baffled me for a while. I was like, this is a very rich person, you know, he's a very rich individual. Of course, maybe not necessarily a millionaire, but this is a person who was wealthy, doing well financially. So they came around and they gave my son a couple of coins. And that thing baffled me. It rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like it, actually. Because me personally, when I'm going to bless a child, like if somebody has given birth to a child, a friend of mine or a relative or something like that, normally what I do, I go to visit them, and I bless that child with paper money. You know what I mean? So from the beginning, those children, when they're young, they are blessed with money because as they grow up, so they learn, as they grow up, they also go along with that blessing of growing up to become financially stable, rich, and abundant in every shape and form. So I didn't like it. It rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't talk about it, but of course, later on, when I started learning a lot of things, I evolved, I grew, I woke up. Everything started coming back to me as to the reason why most of the guys, the black sheeps, they are usually cast from a very young age. You know, so you guys might have noticed that actually your parents gave birth to you, and for some reason, I've mentioned in my videos every now and then that you guys, the black sheeps, you have been marked since birth. Now, let's talk about this mark. You made physically, I want you guys, if you're black sheep in your family, I want you to confirm with this video. I want you to concur with me in this one. You made physically have a mark on your body. When we're talking about being marked since birth, you made physically even have a mark on your body. That is a birthmark. There's something what they call a birthmark. Something that you're born with that mark. For some reason, you're born with a mark on your body. If you are not born with a mark on your body, you are marked in the spiritual realm as a chosen one. So basically, the black sheep, those are the guys who, the chosen ones, the black sheep in the family, they're also the chosen ones in that family. So those guys at a very young age, what happens is that your parents, the first thing they're going to notice on your body, as soon as the very moment they give birth to you, the first thing they're going to notice on your body is that you've got a mark. Sometimes that mark will be physical. They will even see that mark on your body. And that is exactly where the problem is going to start, because they are going to know there is something very different about you, because a lot of family members in the whole family unit, everything was okay. There was nothing, there was no mark, there was no signs or whatever. But for you particularly, you were born with a mark. And your parents will be the first to see that mark. Now, that mark is not by coincidence. You have been marked because the universe, God, has marked you to come into that family, that particular family unit, because there is a job at a later point in time that you're going to do. So which job, of course, is going to be breaking a curse and breaking a certain cycle that has been carrying on in that generation for very many years, hundreds of years. Sometimes it could have been things that have been going on in that family unit for so many years, and somewhere, somehow, God has got to send somebody and intervene and interrupt and intercept that cycle that has been going on in that family unit. So that's why you see a lot of chosen ones. You guys, the black sheeps in this video, I'm talking about the black sheeps. Basically, when you look on your body, you're going to notice that you've got a mark on your body somewhere. It can be on your hand, it can be on your legs, it can be on your thighs, it can be on your back. But you've got a mark. You've been born with a mark. A lot of guys call it the birthmarks. That mark is not by coincidence. You have been marked since birth as a chosen one. So what happens is that there is a person at the top there's a person at the top who is carrying that cycle, that ancestral cycle, that ancestral pattern, those curses. There's a person who is at the top who is meant and whose job is to pass on that cycle to the other family members and team. The very moment what happens is that when you're born, that person will notice that mark. And that is exactly where the problem is going to begin, because now that person is going to resent you from the very first time. I've given you an example of my child. When my child was born, that particular individual came around to visit, to see the child and everything, and that particular individual gave my child coins. Now, I've never done that in my entire life. I've never gone to somebody who has given birth to a child and I presented them with coins, because you cannot start blessing a small child with coins. So those are the reasons why I'm telling you that these are cycles that have been carrying on, and most of the cases, sometimes even those guys, they do not know what exactly they are doing. They are doing it on a very, very subconscious level. They don't know what they're doing, but for some reason they're resenting you from birth. You know what I mean? So until somebody comes into that family and they intercept that pattern, they will know it. But first of all, before even they know it, they have got to experience it. So what happens is that the chosen one, normally the black sheep in those families, when they come into those families, what happens is that they are first of all, there's a word I used before. They are first of all put to sleep. The reason of that is that because when they come into those families, what will happen is that they have got to grow up and experience that pattern. Because you see, when you're talking about generational cycles, you have got to experience it first, and at a later point in time, you're going to wake up, and that is exactly when you're going to now blow the whistle. Like you guys have seen my video before, I talked about the whistleblower, the black sheep, who is also with the whistleblower, and they're the individuals who actually usually they blow the trumpet. So by blowing the trumpet, they are whistleblowing and they are telling the whole world about it and making other family members aware of this kind of cycles. So what happens is that the black sheep, in the childhood days, I remember me personally when I was growing up in those days, I noticed that I was different. You know what I mean? There was something about me that was different. I was not matching up with other members of the team. So I wasn't doing things like them. I wasn't talking like them. I wasn't like, for me, it's like even sometimes even physically, my physical appearance has also been different from other family members. So somehow you will notice that as a black sheep, you're very, very different in each and every way. Spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, you are different in each and every way. That is because you're completely, you're a complete stranger in that family. And I'm talking about a stranger in the spiritual perspective. Why? Because the universe will specifically place you in that family, not for you to fit in, but you're coming into that family to break specific patterns, and that is your job, and that is your assignment. But of course, in the physical aspect, you are going to be born in that family so that you can grow up and evolve step by step until you wake up to the truth of who you really are. And that is exactly when that mission is going to take place, and you're going to go to work. You know what I mean? So I went to work personally about 2 years ago. I woke up from being a black sheep in my family. That was about 2 years ago. That is exactly when I went to work. But of course, breaking a family, guys, I've told you guys, breaking a generational cycle in the family is very, very intensive and very difficult. And a lot of guys have experienced very, very, very many difficult situations, even surrounding their own health. It is a very, very intensive and heavy duty to take on as a black sheep in the family. But as a chosen one, what will happen is that the universe will prepare you for that. So it's like the universe is not going to put you in a place, and of course, at the middle of the journey, the universe is going to abandon you. You know, are going to abandon you, and you go on your own. No, the universe will never abandon you. So what will happen is the universe is going to walk along with you as you do that, as you break the cycle. So the universe is going to pave the ways that you need to break those kind of cycles, because those are very, very heavy cycles. They're spiritual patterns. And when you're talking about spiritual patterns, these are something that are very, very deep in the subconscious. It's like a lot of family members in your team, they cannot recognize them, they do not see them. Sometimes that's why even sometimes the ganging comes from, because you see, when you're waking up, a lot of these guys, they think there's something wrong with you. They're starting to think that, this guy is so and so is going mad, he's crazy. They're seeing the way you're doing things, they're not adding up. That is because you're waking. You awakened and you woke. You know what I mean? So it's like your bulbs have turned on, unlike other family members who are still sleeping in that dysfunctional family unit. So what happens is that they start ganging up on you. They will smear your name. They will talk all kinds of things because they just don't understand who you are. You know what I mean? But at some point in time, of course, later on, as the chosen one in that family, you wake up, you're going to realize that actually you've always been the most powerful person in that family. And it's going to reflect it is going to reflect back in your childhood, and you're going to start adding up all the puzzles. So going back to the childhood, the father and the mother, sometimes you can't find that there's been the mother in that family, they were the narcissist. It could have been the father, or the other parent could have been the enabling parent. So those people now, the very moment they identify you as different, that is what is going to make them very uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So it's going to bring them a lot of pressure. They will feel they're always under stress when it comes to you, when it comes to talking to you or interacting with you or doing little things with you. It is going to be very difficult for them because they cannot handle your energy. So basically, because those black sheeps, they are very powerful, and when I'm talking about power, I'm talking about in a very spiritual perspective. I don't necessarily mean that when I'm talking about powerful, I don't necessarily mean that you're born with a lot of muscles. You know, you have a lot of muscles, you have a lot of energy or something like that. You may be the slimmest guy in that family. You may be the fattest guy in that family, but I can guarantee you that spiritual level, on the spiritual perspective, you have got a lot of power, and you also carry a lot of energy. So what happens is that energy, a lot of family members, they're going to start feeling that energy at a very young age. So you might have noticed that earlier on in your journey as a black sheep as well, you might have noticed that family members, what they do, they will start to disassociate with you. They will start to abandon you. They will start to resent you at a very young age. You might have noticed that actually at a very young age, your fathers, your mothers, if they were the narcissists in this case, you might have noticed that when they were coming around, when it came to you, they did not make the same decisions that like they made with other family members. So they might have come around, and probably there was a festival going on, there was a party going on. So they might have picked up all the other family members and taken them to the occasion or to the party. And you might have noticed that as a black sheep, you are the one who was always left behind in the home for no apparent reason. Even sometimes you might have noticed that you were also the one missing out on so many things. So let's say there was a lot of gifts going on. People were sharing gifts in the family. Of course, for some reason, you didn't get a gift. You didn't get a present. Even sometimes they refused to celebrate your own birthday. So most of the times what is happening as a black sheep, the black sheep, they suffer the most. So the black sheep in the family, they're the ones who carry the whole entire family baggage, so they carry a lot of baggage on their heads. That is because the family sees them as is somewhere on a very subliminal level. It's like the black sheep, they have got a price on their head, you know what I mean? But of course, because it's like the parents, they are trying to figure you out. They are thinking a little bit that this guy looks like is different, she is different, she doesn't think like the rest, she doesn't do things like the rest, she doesn't reason like the rest. So on a very subconscious level, what they do, they start to resent you at a very young age. You know what I mean? So sometimes you might even sometimes see those parents, they're talking about you in the neighbors. They're saying that, I've got about 5 kids, 6 kids. But there is this one particular kid, I just feel that kid is different. You know what I mean? So very deeply they feel that at some point in time in that family unit, you're going to become a problem. So you might be that person who is destined, like I've said, you're destined to break a curse. So sometimes those family members, because they are dysfunctional and they are toxic and dysfunctional, so they feel that energy in the beginning of your journey, in the very young age, they feel that energy. And most of the cases, it is exactly that energy that brings the chaos, because they will start to punish you, you know what I mean? So they will start to, because you see, these narcissists, what they do, there are problems with their own life, there are problems with self-esteem, there are problems with their ego, they've got a very fragile ego. So what happens is that normally, whatever things they have gone outside there and things have gone wrong with them, they didn't sell well in their shops, business went bad, or so maybe they had a problem with their wives or things like that. What they do, they come back in the house, and what they do, they now dump all that baggage on you. You know what I mean? Because they want you to feel lesser than the rest. They already know that you're different from the rest. They just don't know the reason why you're different from the rest. But they have got to make you feel very much lesser than the rest. So that's why you see the black sheep, they experience a lot of isolation, in the early days. They experience a lot of isolations. You see family members. I remember my time in those days when I was younger. I remember I had siblings. So those siblings, sometimes they used to share little secrets. You know when you're young and you have got these other family members around you, sometimes they have got something going on. So they come around and they share the secrets. They are talking about something, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you will come from somewhere and they'll notice you from the back. This is coming. Then all of a sudden they're going to stop talking. For some reason, those guys, when they see you coming around, they will stop talking. Those things went on and on, and I would hardly understand what exactly was going on. I was like, why don't I deserve to hear what they're saying, what they have to say? You know what I mean? Because on a subconscious level, they feel you're not entitled to hear whatever it is they want to say. So you are not part of them. You're not part of the team. A lot of family members, they resent you because they believe on a very subconscious level you're not part of the team. You know what I mean? I remember also another incident when there was a case where in those days I was looking for accommodation. I was looking for a place to stay. So I remember contacting a family member who had already established their own home. So I was asking the family member, can I come and stay at your place? So that family member told me that, you know what, you cannot stay in my place because I've got another friend of mine who is staying with me. I'm going to bring in, actually that time, there was an available room free. There was nobody in that room. So they told me that, you know what, I'm not going to be able to take you in because there is a friend of mine who is coming in to stay with me. So sometimes a black sheep, you're going to meet cases. You have met cases whereby people have been resenting you, for some reason. They pick on you, they resent you, they isolate you, they don't want you to be part of them. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you do little things as being different, because of course a black sheep, like I've said, you're very different and unique. So as a person who is a black sheep, you also have noticed that your way of talking is different. Of course, your way of dressing is different. I remember me personally when I was growing up as well, I always liked to design my own clothes. You know what I mean? So I didn't like to wear what everybody else is wearing. So I just decided that I'm going to design my own clothes. And sometime they came out, I came out looking nice, of course. Back in Ace is spitting straight facts. Yeah. So you come out as being different and you come out as unique. So me, when I was using those clothes in that time, the clothes that I used to wear were very different because I used to design. I used to go to my own tailors and they would design my own clothes the way I wanted it to be. So I always wanted to be different. I didn't want to look like the rest. And because of that, a lot of family members, they are going to hate you. So normally the narcissistic family, what they do, they will make sure that they start to beat you down when you're at a young age. You know what I mean? So when you're at a young age, you'll find them, they will invalidate whatever it is you're doing. So you might have decided to go a certain direction, to make your own decisions, to be specific about the things you want. But when in a dysfunctional family, it's like the parents, they cannot accept whatever it is you decide for yourself. So they try to make sure that they choose for you the places you can go, the time you can eat, the time you can sleep. They dictate each and everything in your life because they want to make sure that you feel that you cannot, actually, you don't have a place in that family to make your own decisions and to make your own choices. So they will invalidate whatever it is you're doing. Even sometimes it may be something as simple as a discussion. You guys may be in a meeting, a family meeting, a gathering, or something like that. You guys are talking about something. So those narcissistic parents, when you start talking, they will allow other members of the family to talk. They will let everybody talk. Everybody will say what they want to say. They will mention their points. They will make their points clear. But when it comes to you, when you start talking, I remember one time there was this discussion going. It was a very, very serious discussion in the family. So I remember one time the narcissistic parent was like, "Oh, you guys, I want you to tell me maybe there is something I'm doing wrong, or there is something I don't understand, or whatever it is." So me, because I'd already seen that thing for a very, very long time, and very few family members had already seen what was going on. So they all said their point. They mentioned their point. I gave them time. I was sitting in the backyard. I gave them time to speak. So they spoke. When it was my time to speak, all of a sudden the narcissistic parent knew that this guy is going to speak the truth. So they shut me down from speaking at that particular point. So they shut me down. They're like, "Oh, actually, it's late. You guys, it's late. We shall talk another time. You know, this and that." So they disrupted my point of view. The time when I was speaking, they disrupted me and stopped me from speaking. You know what I mean? For some reason, they stopped me from talking. So a lot of black sheep, what happens is that these kind of things have been going on for a very, very long period of time. But let me tell you something, guys. The black sheep, they are very powerful people. Those individuals, number one, I've already mentioned in my videos. Guys, you already know as a black sheep, you are the chosen one. So a chosen one is a person who has got a very big team and a very big backup on their back. So whatever it is you're going to do in that family, sometimes you may not see it. In the early days of your journey, of course, it won't make a lot of sense. You will not see a lot of these things, but I can guarantee you as a chosen one, a black sheep in the family, and as a chosen one, because of your purpose and the role you're meant to play in that family, it is going to require you a lot of strength. So you might have noticed that actually for some reason along your path, you have been going through a lot of difficulties. You know, you have been abandoned. Sometimes you might have been locked out of the house. For some reason, a lot of things have been done to you because you are different and because you stand for the truth. So what happens is that you go through very hard lessons in life. You know what I mean? You will be dropped off in the farthest school from your own family members. You will be discriminated, you will be isolated, you will be abused, you will be manipulated, you will be everything that describes toxicity. The black sheep will go through those lessons. But the secret is why you're going through those lessons is because in a physical perspective, yes, your assignment is very much on a spiritual perspective, because if we're talking about breaking spiritual patterns and generational cycles, these are spiritual cycles, you know what I mean? So on a spiritual perspective, you're prepared. Why? Because you've got this angelic team, your ancestors, your spirit guides, the angels, God, everybody's with you because they know the weight of the curse you're going to break. So they already know this on a very spiritual perspective. But what happens is that physically, sometimes you're not prepared. You know what I mean? So physically, what happens is that you will notice also along your journey that you're going to experience the most difficult life situations. So sometimes you will find yourselves, you might have found yourself sleeping outside of the house. They have locked you out of the house. You have got to sleep out in the cold. Sometimes some of you guys have even sometimes ended up on the streets for some reason for a couple of years before they could let you in. Because why did you end up on the streets? Because you did something very small. Maybe you said something very small to the narcissistic parent. It rubbed them the wrong way, and they were like, you've got to leave this house. I don't want you to stay in this house. You've got to leave. So they send you out on the streets. So the black sheep go through a lot. They experience a lot. They go through tough lessons. The reason why is that because you are being prepared physically. So your body is being prepared physically. Because remember, when you're going to carry on this role of breaking spiritual cycles and patterns, you also have got to be prepared physically. So the reason of your pain and your endurance, your pain and your hardships and all these kind of things, the reason of all these kind of things is because your body is getting prepared. You know what I mean? So physically, you're supposed to be prepared for this journey, because it is going to be a journey that you're going to carry on for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? So when we're talking about breaking these kind of cycles, and again, these things I've talked about in my video before, and I've told you guys, these generational cycles, they're spiritual cycles. So these are cycles, very, very intensive, difficult, sometimes even demonic cycles. You know what I mean? So there could be things like narcissism, there could be deaths, there could be some things which have been happening in the family, like diseases. Particular diseases are attacking particular members of the family. Sometimes people are dying at a certain age. Sometimes people are not able to give birth. Sometimes when they give birth, they die during labor. Sometimes the children die the babies die as their parents are giving birth. So there could be some cycles that have been going on in those kind of families, and most of the times, it has got everything to do with the person at the top. And in this case, of course, I'm talking about the narcissistic parent. So those are the people who have been carrying that cycle and are supposed to carry on and spread out that cycle within family teams, so that when that person dies, later on when they die, the family can continue in that cycle, and they will do the same thing to their children, and then that thing carries on and on and on. So this thing goes on, like it dates back like hundreds of years. You know what I mean? So when we're talking about things like generational cycles date back hundreds of years. And the problem is that a lot of family members in that cycle, they don't see it. So it is very, very painful, guys. The thing what I noticed as well during my waking up, when I was waking up, one of the things I noticed in my early journey was that a lot of family members, they could not recognize this cycle. So a lot of them, they were like sleep. Most of them were asleep. It's like you would tell them, hey, guys, you know what? There is this thing and this happening in the family. They were like, what is this guy talking about? So most of them, they don't believe you. When you're talking, they are not even listening. You know what I mean? And sometimes they may even sometimes make you to become the threat in the family. You will become the problem. All of a sudden, they're going to disconnect from you, because when you wake up, and again, let me make this one clear as well, guys. So normally when you're waking up is that in a spiritual perspective, these guys, they feel something is going to happen, something very major is going to happen in the family. So what happens is that your energy now starts to, because remember, when you're waking up, your bulbs turn on. And when your bulbs turn on, what happens is that your energy doubles. You know what I mean? So when your energy doubles, it is like your energy, you've got this big ball of light. You've heard me talking about the big ball of light. So what happens is that your energy now starts to spread out within the family members. And that frequency, it hits a lot of family members the wrong way. They will feel that intensity when you wake up. So you guys might have noticed that sometime when the black sheep, they're waking up, a lot of these black sheep, when they're waking up, you might have noticed that actually the family members, they start to run away from you. They are avoiding you. They're talking about you. You know, they're the evil one. Some of them, they may start to say, you are the evil one. You know what I mean? You are the demon. You are this. So they will start to demonize your presence. But the only thing what they don't understand is that you are awakened, and now the light bulbs have gone on. And what happens is that now you're sending out that frequency within other family members in the team, and a lot of them, they're not ready for that energy, and they're not ready for that they're not ready for that energy. So what they do, they feel that energy. Sometimes it can sometimes manifest physically. It makes them extremely uncomfortable, especially when you're talking about these other toxic family members that have also been a part of the problem. It makes a lot of them uncomfortable. It makes them very, very seriously sick. Sometimes we might even send out that frequency. It might even sometimes make some of the family members sick. Because remember, when you're waking up, the bulbs have turned on, and now you're starting your journey of breaking the curse. So what happens is that when you're breaking away from family cycles, what happens is that now you're blowing the trumpet. But each and every word you speak after waking up, after awakening, each and every word you speak, that particular word, it sends out a very, very powerful frequency within the family team, even sometimes the people around you. And that frequency, a lot of people, they cannot handle that energy. So that's the reason why you see them, they will start plugging themselves out of your life. They run away, you know, the mother will go that side, the father will go that side, the brothers, the sisters, they will all start to run away from you. Because at that moment, you are now being authentic. You have stepped into your authenticity. And that is exactly what is going to cause them. There's something you guys have heard me talking about, something what they call the paradigm shift. So when we're talking about the paradigm shift, we're talking about the way that family understands, the way other family members have always understood that family unit. So they might have understood that family unit as being okay, everything was normal, everything was right, there was no problem. So a lot of them have been living in denial. When talking about, like for example, you guys have said, you guys have heard that a lot of these dysfunctional families, they can have like 2, 3, 4, sometimes even more than 5 family members in the team. But a lot of them, as long as they've been living, what happens is that they have all been shut down and put to sleep by the narcissistic parent. So the narcissistic parent kind of infects them with all these kind of traits, their narcissism and everything. So a lot of family members, they start to do what the narcissist is doing because they think, they believe in their psychology, they think, oh, everything is okay. What our father is doing is okay. What our mother is doing is okay. Everything is all right. So we can do the same way that they're doing. So a lot of those family members, for very long periods of years, they have been following that cycle without even knowing it, that they're being destroyed on a very much subconscious level. But you see, when you wake up and you start to blow the trumpet, what happens is that a lot of them now, what happens, they it sends out, it kind of causes a very massive paradigm shift in the family. So their consciousness is going to somehow get turned on, and they're going to start to say, oh, this guy is like, why is he talking about, why is he talking like that? Why is she talking like this? Why does she think like that? Why does she think like this? In the beginning, they may not get it. They will fight with it. They will struggle with it because it's very, very difficult to come to terms with the fact that you have been dealing with a dysfunctional family. A lot of people cannot process that. A lot of people, it's even very shameful to talk about it. So a lot of black sheep who have been waking up, they have been finding it a problem to talk about it because this is something. It's sometimes you even feel like you're ashamed to speak about it. You're ashamed to sit with people and tell people that the guys that you've known for ages, for years, other family relatives and things, family relatives and friends, you cannot even sometimes tell them that actually, you know what, for all these years you've been dealing with a dysfunctional family. So they cannot understand this. You know what I mean? So that shift, when talking about the paradigm shift spreads out very intensively within the family. And it starts to change the family dynamics. And most of the cases, the family, that is exactly. So this is like, for example, your awakening is like a confirmation to the narcissistic parent. So this is like a confirmation of their fears because they have always had these fears ever since you was a kid. They have always had these fears that there is something about this kid, and they somehow feel that at some point this kid feels like they know the truth. Because remember, the black sheep, they're also truth tellers. So many times in your journey, you have always been confronting your parents. They have been doing some things. You could see what they are doing. You confront them. Oh, Dad, you know what? I saw you doing this is not right. I saw you doing that is not right. So the parents, they feel intimidated whenever you're around. So sometimes you might even sometimes see the parents, they will start hiding some things from you because they feel that if I do something like this, one of the family members, they're going to pick up on it. So that's the reason why that is exactly what has usually caused the isolation in your lifetime. Because remember, when these guys are isolating you, what happens is that they're not isolating you, they're isolating you for a reason. Why? Because when they know that you're a part of them, so for example, they have gone to an occasion, maybe they've gone to a party, maybe there's a family meeting going on, there's a family gathering going on, and they have left you behind. So what happens is that they know when you're coming in to join that party, the event or birthday or marriage or whatever. So when you come in to join that event, you are going to look through them because on a very deep level, they know each and everything they are doing, you're watching it, you can see it, and you can figure it out. So the black sheep is the only person who has got the capability to figure out other things within the family team that other people do not know, other people cannot see. And that is exactly why a lot of those times the black sheeps, they have had it rough. Most of the times you found your parents punishing you, they've been beating you for no reason. Why did you do this? They beat you. Why did you do that? They beat you. They come back with their own baggage from work, wherever they have been. Things have not gone well in their shops. They haven't sold well, or things have gone wrong. Maybe they've got a problem, a fight with their friends. The first thing what they do when they come back at home, They're going to get you out of the house wherever you are, and they're going to start dumping all their garbage on you. You will not know what. Sometimes they're punishing you. Sometimes even physically. They might have been abusing you physically. They might have been sometimes been beating you up for no apparent reason. So the black sheeps normally, the life of a black sheep is very difficult. You know, the life of a black sheep. Me personally, waking up from this role of being a black sheep, it took me by surprise, because I was like, I could not believe, because it surprised me, but at the same time, it comforted me, because then I knew that, okay, now I can add up all the pieces. I can know that, okay, so all my entire life, I can know why this one was doing this, why that one did that, why this one said this, why this one said that. Then I can know now where all these punishments were coming from. Why was I being punished by so and so? Why was I being abused by so and so? Now all the things start adding up. It gives you some kind of a relief, and at the same time, it also sets you on the right path that you're supposed to walk. It sets you on your journey, because it will also identify, make you identify the role you have got to play in that specific family. So the black sheeps, they're very powerful people. Those people, let me tell you something, the very moment the black sheep awakens, a lot of things are going to start changing in that family. A lot of things are going to shift. There's a very huge paradigm shift going to happen. A lot of people are going to hate each other. A lot of people are going to start fighting with each other. Why? Because you have awakened. Because when you awakened, you now start to come out with the real truth of what you're supposed to do. Because now at that moment, you know, you can see, you have awakened to it, because now you know it, you can see it, exactly what has been going on behind closed doors. You're able to talk about it. But as you're talking about it as well, you have got to know a lot of people are going to be disturbed by this. A lot of people don't want, they never want, especially when you're talking about the narcissistic parent, this is something they never ever wanted to come out to the surface. They never ever wanted, they wanted that thing to keep on, because remember, this is a cycle happening. It's like something what is happening between the sheets, underneath the sheets, so nobody's supposed to know. The parents at the top, they know. What is even more confusing, and even sometimes what made me understand this journey was that then they're aware of this pattern, they're aware of this. So that cycle is supposed to be carried on. Guys, there's a problem in my phone. I think there are some lines carrying on. I don't know where they're coming from even. So the parents want to die with that cycle. They want to die with those secrets, because those secrets, when they come out, then that means that actually those patterns, they cannot pass on to other individuals in the future generations to come. So those secrets, they want to suppress those secrets until the end of their life. And that's why you see they die, they do everything in their power to protect those family secrets from getting out there. So black sheeps, all in all, is to make you aware in this video that you guys are very powerful. So you're very powerful, and the very moment you start to step into your authenticity. So this video, I want to give you encouragement, black sheeps. Guys, if you're coming in, do not worry about the lines. I don't know what has just happened now, but there's some lines going on in the screen. Don't worry about that. So black sheeps, you've got to know that there is very big things you're supposed to do. There is a big mission ahead of you. You can never sit on your truth. When you have awakened, make sure that you start to blow the trumpet. The reason of your awakening is you are supposed to start blowing the trumpet. By blowing the trumpet, you start to shift the whole paradigm in your family, and you make a very big difference within some other family members. Not all of them, of course. Some of them will decide to carry on with the patterns forever, for the rest of their lives. But there are some of those guys who are waiting to listen to the truth. So when you have awakened and you've seen it, make sure that you speak about it. And it's the only way you're going to be able to help other family members in your team, because you're the only one who has been given the power and authority to talk about this, to talk about that, and you've been anointed. Thank you for your confirmation, Cassandra. So you've been anointed by God to break those patterns. Do not sit on your truth. Guys, make sure that you can use your platforms. Come out on your, I don't know what channels you're using, maybe YouTube, I don't know, Facebook, Instagram. At least make a post. There is a lot of people you're going to be helping along your journey. There's a lot of people who do not want to carry on with that curse. If they have been affected, because of course, eventually a lot of family members, they have been affected by that curse without even knowing it. So when you're breaking a curse, the beginning point is to talk about it and make sure that other people know about it, and they can also be helped on their journey to make much more conscious decisions and to know which direction they want to go in their lives. So talk about it. Write a book, guys. You can write a book if you can. Start writing your own book. Open your own platform. It may be a small platform. Do not worry about that. Sometimes you may just need one video to help or to heal one particular member of the family. So always talk about your truth in whichever way, shape, or form, whatever means is available for you. You can reach out to people physically. You can talk to people online. You can write a book. You can do whatever it is you can do to spread out the message, because this is a job, it's an assignment from the universe, and you cannot run away from this assignment. So before I close this video, I'm going to read through the comments. A lot of comments have been coming in. So Marco confirmed that I do on the left side of my face. He's got a mark. So Marco confirmed the mark I'm talking about. I've been talking about the birthmarks. Backend Ace says he's spitting straight facts. Everything you said is true and spot on. That is Hibiscus 2000. Cassandra, thank you for your confirmation. Shana G, thank you. So guys, let me know what you think about this video. Black Sheeps is an encouragement. Get out there, do what you came here to do. You know, if you have awakened, you've seen it, you know all these patterns, you figured it out, your parents were narcissists, you cannot run away from it. You have awakened for a reason, excuse me. You have awakened for a reason, and the biggest reason is to help other people around you to also see the truth of what you see. So do whatever it is you want to do to blow the trumpet and to whistle blow and spread out that message into the universe and help other individuals to wake them up. Shanaji says, I appreciate your messages. I appreciate you as well, Shanaji. So let's know what you think about this video in the comment section below, guys. I always love and appreciate your support. Give us a comment, leave us a comment in the section below, and I'll get back to you in my next one. Much love and blessings, guys. Desmond signing out. Peace.